Reading, learning, growing, creating, while building, living, thinking, healing, loving, loving, building, writing while black, black, black. Good morning and welcome to a new episode of Writing While Back. I'm your host, Ayoka B, and your co-host, Angela, is here.
Hello, writing while black. It sounds like you said back, writing while back, like we back for writing while black.
Did I?
We'll
Okay.
hear on the
Well,
recording.
Angela got it right. And this morning we are here with Jasmine Hart. Jasmine is an indie author. Her newly released debut, Deadly Bonds, is available on Amazon. It is the first in a series. In her free time, Jasmine enjoys traveling, reading, and writing her books in cafes. She currently lives with her husband and her playful rescue cat. So, welcome, Jasmine. Welcome.
Thank you so much for
Yay.
having me.
Thank you for joining us. I'm going to jump right in. On your website, you have the tagline, romance so dark and steamy, it's obsessive. So explain that to us.
I really enjoy dark romance and I enjoy mystery, and I think combining both of those together just makes something very obsessive. And I like an obsessive kind of love in stories.
Okay, so I've heard a lot of different definitions. Can you give us your definition of dark romance?
So to me, dark romance definitely has romance at the forefront, but there's always some type of violence or darker elements at play. And for different authors, that can mean different things, and it can vary book to book as well. But dark elements and romance, so that can be a mafia romance or something like I have written, or maybe you have a stalker or something, and somehow romance happens. It can really take a lot of different things.
Okay, all right. And so I'm thinking that it typically has a morally gray character or characters involved.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So how long have you been writing?
Oh, that's such a fun question. I actually started writing when I was 11 years old, I believe. Uh, I remember my grandmother had just gotten a computer and it had Microsoft Word on it. And I remember looking at it and thinking, this is a blank canvas. I can write anything on here. So I just started writing little fun stories about like boy bands or music that I liked or something. Uh, and then as I grew older, I started writing romance. It was not dark romance because I didn't know what that was back then. But I would say that I seriously started picking it up back in 2018, and I wrote a mafia romance, and that's when I kind of knew that I had a knack for this type of genre. And I wrote other like college romances, sweet romances, but that really planted a seed for me that said, I think I have something good on my hands.
Okay. So I want to go back 1 second. What I want to hear about these boy bands. Who were you listening to? Who were your favorite what music were you in
Yeah.
obsessed with at that time?
Oh wow. Well, when I was 11 or 12, I had went to go see the Jonas Brothers, which was a boy band, but now they're like grown men. But I had such a crush on them, and I was so obsessed with them because I had nothing else really to do when that young. So I would just imagine that they were in love with me or something.
Okay.
I was a
Okay.
kid.
The Jonas Brothers. All right. It was for me, I'm gonna date myself, but I'm proud of my age. I'm a big 52. It was
Oh.
New Edition for me.
Oh, I love New Edition.
I
Yeah.
was that when I was 11, they were just coming out. And so,
Candy Girl.
yeah, it
Is
was
that
Mm.
their first? Oh,
that
yeah.
was their
I used
first
to listen to
album.
them roller skating up and down the street. I had to look up the Jonas Brothers. I've heard of them, but I'm not really familiar with their music. So,
Okay. So I'm gonna put you on the spot, but you should be ready. Give us your
Okay.
elevator pitch for Deadly Bonds.
That's gonna be there's a lot that goes on in this book,
Come
but
on. I'm
This
a
is your
potential
opportunity to
publisher. Give it
so
to me. Sell it to me.
okay. Well, Deadly Bonds is an interracial mafia dark romance that takes place in a fictional city of Belmont. Essentially, our main female character, Natasha Quinn, she returns home reluctantly to take care of her dying father. And her father was a drug kingpin in the city, and he had ruined so many lives and just really caused chaos throughout the city during his reign. Well, while she's home, she goes to hang out with a friend. And while she's at this cafe, she meets a man named Giovanni Moretti, and he is uh, the mafia boss of their city. And essentially, they kind of play cat and mouse a little bit, but she's very reluctant to go out on a date with him, but he's very interested in her. All the while, her father's business is kind of up for negotiations since he will most likely pass away. And a lot of romance ensues, a lot of danger, and very seedy characters.
Okay. All right. And when did it come out?
It came out,
just in August. Mm.
yeah, about a month ago almost. Oh, you're fine.
Okay. Okay. So it's brand new,
It's brand new. I
ready
usually
for
try to
people to
keep
read.
myself muted. Sorry. Yeah, it's brand new.
Okay. So, um, I'm going to turn it over to Angela now. I'll come back in later.
All right. So picking right up where we left off, it came out in August.
Mhm.
How has your experience been? Did you do a lot of pre-promotions or did you start promoting in August? And how you
Yeah.
feeling?
Yeah, thank you. It's really been a roller coaster for me. This is kind of all that I've ever wanted to do with my life. I went to college for a completely different degree, but writing has always been my true love. And yeah, it's truly been incredible with the supportive writing community and readers and people like you two who really amplify Black voices, and that is so important to me. I started teasing the book a few months ago on my old Instagram. I had gotten locked out of it for some reason, but yeah, it's definitely been a journey. I started promo and I wanted to release it sooner, but I wanted to make sure that it was perfect.
All right. Can you talk more about your writing community?
Yeah, so I feel so honored to be good friends with a few different Black authors. Tenney is great. Vega is amazing. There's another author, Knotty. She is amazing. And I even thanked them in my acknowledgments because it truly felt like I would not have been able to to do this without them. Like a lot of the guidance and advice that they had with the author process of what to do, it was just it was amazing. It's been amazing.
How did you connect with them?
I had been reading Vega's books for a couple of years now, and I when I first made my account, I think she was the first person that I inboxed, and I was like, "Hi, hey, did you want to be friends?" Basically, um, but I just, we just talked about how much I enjoy her books and just things like that. And the same with the other two. They were coming out with their debut novels, and I was very interested, and I really tried to reach out to people who I think are authentic and, support one another.
And you say that I've always wanted to write. All I ever wanted to do is write. When I went to college, I majored in something else, but why why do you want to write?
It's it's like the perfect escape to be honest. When life isn't always the best, I always have writing and I can just make up stories in my head and see where that takes me. I've always loved film as well, so that kind of inspired my writing process quite a bit. And I just love making my own stories. Like if you watch a movie and you think I can do it better, so then I try to write it better. And that's one way that I do it.
So what is your writing process like? What was the process of getting Deadly Bonds out into the world?
Mm. Yeah, so I had actually started writing this book about 4 years ago, and I had written two other versions of it fully, and then I told myself like this is not quite it yet. I gotta keep going. So I started writing every single day for the past couple years on this and on other projects, and I would do research. I would actually listen to mafia podcasts to learn more about that lifestyle and more mafia movies I had rewatch. But even earlier this year, when I was finishing it up, I would basically fall asleep on my laptop and just write constantly and absorb as much information as I could about that type of life, basically.
So what about the mafia lifestyle do you find like appealing? Like you say you write to escape. Like what? Because to me, you may or may not know, but like that's like the opposite of like an escape for me. Like boo. So I'm like, okay, so it's an escape. What about it? What's exciting or interesting or what
hmm
takes you away with that?
It's I grew up watching a lot of mafia movies, like A Bronx Tale, Goodfellas, Godfather, all of that. My dad was really into it, so I was a kid watching that stuff. Um, and it reminds me of him. I feel like it brings me spiritually closer to him sometimes, because he's no longer with us. But I don't know. I like the subtle build up to things. I like sometimes just the straight violence, but the redemption of it, it's is multifaceted to me. And it's just like a whole different world than what I'm used to seeing day to day. Although I did grow up in an area where the mob was somewhat alive and well. Yeah, in real life in the 21st century, but I've always just been interested in that life of crime from the outside perspective.
So it feel that makes me feel like maybe Belmont is autobiographical, maybe, but some people say that your first novel is an autobiography. Do you feel like this book is like some parts your story, all parts your story, no parts your story?
Yeah, there are like small bits and pieces of me tossed into this. Like my main character, Natasha, she loves to bake. That's her main thing. And my husband loves to bake. So I thought that would be fun. And I wanted her to have like a creative outlet, and I see how much joy that brings my husband. So I just thought that would be great for a character.
All right. And then I guess the other thing for me that is curious is I just read Lilith not too long ago by Alexandria House. And I thought, and I had heard about dark romances in a group that I was in like a little while ago. And I was like, wait, what is dark romance? Boo, I'm not a fan. And then I ended up reading Lilith, and I'm kind of like, okay, when I was reading Lilith, I thought, there it reminds me of some of the Korean dramas that I watch where someone has been relentlessly bullied as a child. They burnt them with
Mhm.
curling irons and choked them up and whatever. And now this person is an adult and they're getting revenge. And there was something in Lilith that felt like a revenge story to me. And there's something in the story Deadly Bonds that feels like a revenge story to me. It
Mhm.
didn't feel like gratuitous violence for the sake of violence. There seemed to be a context for it that I guess is that like a common theme in dark romance that there is a reason for the violence?
Yeah, at least for me, there's definitely reason for the violence. I don't want to give away too many spoilers on what happened with what caused the violence, but I think it definitely varies author to author about how they choose to put the violence in. Because sometimes I feel like it can be not always the best use of words sometimes when violence is just thrown in for no reason. I think there has to be some type of reason.
I wanted to
And
say one quick thing about Mafia.
Mhm.
When Angela asked you what draws you to Mafia, or what do you find interesting about it? One thing I can say, I haven't seen, well, no, I've actually seen quite a few Mafia movies. Family is always a big theme in
Mhm.
Mafia movies, so I was wondering if that was something that drew you to them.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. I think family is a beautiful thing. I think having a chosen family is just as beautiful as the biological family. But yes, even in Deadly Bonds, there's the subplot of family is really important. Even with the male main character, he loves his family. He has a brother and a sister-in-law, and he's basically filling in his father's shoes who had passed away, and family is definitely a key role in this.
Right. Family and obligation.
Hmm.
Hmm.
when I opened your book, there was a link, it was like kind of the trigger warning
Hmm.
general link, I mean, information. And then for more information, go to my website. I really love that. I'm like, oh, I love, and I went to your website and I read what the trigger warnings are. And I don't tend to be sensitive to a lot of things. And but I just like the structure of that. For whatever reason. I like that it took people to your website. And I like that, yeah, just like I haven't read a lot of dark romances because it's something that I think, oh, that doesn't sound like something that's appealing to me. Interracial romances is also in that category. And it seems like in the world of Black authors, there are people who choose to focus on interracial romances. Is that something that you think that you'll be continuing? I know you're working on your other projects, but is that a theme that will be ongoing in your work? Is there a reason that you chose to set your story up like that? Is it personal, or does it seem like something that's trendy and that some people are writing about and doing well with? Can you talk a little bit about the interracial aspect?
Yeah, it's definitely a theme that I'll continue. For me, it is personal. My husband, he is white, and we've been together for almost 10 years, which is crazy to think about sometimes. But I would say, even with the books that I read and the authors that I've met who write in the interracial category, everyone is just so welcoming, and I try not to, I don't do things because they're trendy. I don't always think that's the best idea. I think it's really important to write stories that are authentic to you. And making Natasha and Giovanni's story interracial uh, was important to me.
And this is the first in a series, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, this is the first in a series, and there's so many great things I have planned for these two. I'm having a lot of fun with getting everything ready.
So we talked earlier about your process for getting the first book out and your ongoing work. So what has your process shifted since you got the first book out? Do you have to incorporate more marketing into your time that you didn't have to before, or how has your process shifted if it has?
Yeah, so I feel a lot better this time around because I did have to take a break after Deadly Bonds was released because I felt like I was just running full speed on marketing and writing every day and also my full-time job. And I felt very burnt out for a couple weeks. So this time around, I hired an editor and she's working on editing a different work that I'm that I'm working on, and I'm still making it a goal to write every day. But I am extremely happy that I have someone in my corner now who can help me with that editing. And now I have beta readers, and they're going to help me with any plot recommendations or changes I'd like to make. But the goal is to just have something on the page every single day.
So you've started book two,
Yeah, yeah.
or it's done?
I started
Okay. No
I
pressure. I'm just
oh yeah, I don't mind. Yeah, I've started book two and I'm working on a different novella series right now, that might be coming out at some point soon.
Right. I got the impression that there were several projects that were
Yeah.
going strong.
Oh yeah. I even when I was even when I was initially writing Deadly Bonds, I think I was working on four other stories. So I'm always working on something, and the next book that I'm working on is definitely different from Deadly Bonds.
a
I was going to
different
invite you to tell
genre,
us.
Uh
or you don't want to say what genre? Okay.
It sounded like you didn't want to say because I was going to say, well, tell us about your upcoming projects, but it sounded like they're still a little, you know, protected right now, or are they?
I'm still a little bit protective over this one, but I will say I will be announcing something on my newsletter soon, about my next project. It's just I just want to have it finished with my editor first before I before I talk more about it. But I'm excited.
Okay. So I heard you just say newsletter, and that's one of my favorite things to dig into. Do you have five people who are subscribed to your newsletter? 500, 5,000? What can you tell me about building your newsletter readership?
Oh yeah, I'm still working that out. But I have a few people on here, and I mostly make posts about it on Instagram, and then I occasionally just reshare it on my stories. But yeah, if anybody who's listening to this who likes romance or dark romance, sign up to my newsletter on my website. I'd love to share exclusive information with you first.
And I guess the website link will be in, of course, the website link will be in the notes on YouTube and Spotify, but I thought you were going to go ahead and say your website.
Oh,
I like your little avatar. Do you draw?
I don't draw, but my husband does, so he designed it.
Oh, okay. I'm also married to a designer, graphic artist, cartoonist,
Very cool.
writer, whatever. All of that. Okay.
So can you describe Natasha in 3 words?
Mm, she is caring, uh, talented, and driven.
Now give us Giovanni in 3 words.
Vengeful, uh, loving, and hmm, restless.
Okay, good. It wasn't too hard for you. That's good. Because I find as a writer, you know, you kind of fall into your characters. You know them very well. So I that's why I started asking people questions about specifically about the characters to see how well
Yeah.
they can do. Little pop quiz.
So who is Shane in 3 words or 5 words, Ayoka?
Oh, pardon me. Okay, now look, it's a
Because I was like,
boomerang.
how would I describe Kendra? So let me hear
Okay.
Shane.
Shane is passionate. She is introspective, and she is,
Ah,
I would say, resilient.
okay. Yeah, I'd probably have to think a lot to get Shane from Love at Second Sight. I'd probably have to think a lot more to do Kendra and Bennett. I guess if I had to do them on the spot, I probably could come up with something.
Okay,
But
come
when
on,
you
Kendra on the spot. You did me now. Come on.
okay, so Kendra is the female main character in Love Soiree. She is loving. She is hardworking and she is reserved and introspective. She's reserved.
Hmm. I like that.
Yeah, yeah. Bennett is stressed, but I don't know if that's a character trait because that can come and go. But he's distressed. He's in distress. Um, Judgmental or critical. Um, yeah, I don't know. I have to think about Bennett. I thought Bennett would be easier than Kendra. But when we're doing those character descriptions, it kind of I want to go back to Jasmine. Like I thought that your descriptions of your characters kind of they fit, but they kind of surprised me a little bit. Um, I don't know how I would describe Natasha, and I don't think that I would use vengeful for Giovanni. But so that was that. This is interesting, Ayoka. I don't know. So yeah.
Yeah, I think it's because it's like I know I know where they'll go in the story. So yeah, it's like
You have a deeper insight. You know them way better than me. I read one book, but you wrote them. You know them.
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
And Jasmine, just Angela's debut that she's working on is Love Soiree. Those are the characters she was that
Oh,
I
nice.
grilled her
Referencing.
on. And when she put me on the spot, Shane is my FMC for my debut, Love at Second Sight. Just so
Mm,
Wow.
you're probably
I'll check
like,
them
mm.
out.
well, who are they talking about?
Right. What's going on? Right,
Clear that up a
right.
little bit.
Mm. Usually when I start a book, I like to look at the table of contents. I don't know why, because most books just have the main, the characters' names going back and forth or whatever. These days, I notice that. But in
Mhm.
your book, what kind of intrigued me was the chapters about like the first year, beginning of high school, or like
Mhm.
there was a little more meat to them. And those chapters I felt were like as I was reading, I feel like those chapters were really the most powerful for me, and the most like the strongest chapters. Can were those chapters written at a different time or in a different way from the rest of the story? That were those like the chapters that generated the story, or something feels different to me about them?
Yeah, so I had actually written them when I was mostly through already writing the majority of the book, but I thought that having flashback chapters would add more depth and complexity to the story and add more context to why certain characters are doing certain things. And I love flashbacks even in movies and other books, and I really I really wanted the reader to see the starting point essentially of why a lot of events took place.
Well, yeah, because that's what I was thinking. When you give background, it gives context and it makes you better understand the character and their motivation. It makes you, you know, if there's a character that you really don't like, and then you get more context about why they are the way they are, or vice versa. It could be a character that you love and then you're like, wait a minute, they okay, this is the second iteration of who they are.
Yeah.
So yeah, I can appreciate that.
I just finished a book that was part two in a series, and I didn't read part one, but I guess the character that is the feature was like the villain in the first book. And so a lot of people are like, ew, we hate her, we don't want to hear her story. But I just came into it fresh, so it was a whole backstory of a villain. But I think it's called A Certified Forever. I can't even remember the author's name. We'll put it in the link. But yeah, those backstories. So I felt like that backstory part, you did the thing with that, I think, in your story.
Thank you.
So is most of your reading dark romance when you were a child? We
Oh
didn't
no.
really have that, but can you
I
talk
hope
about
not.
what you're reading now, but also like your history of
Oh yeah.
reading?
Yeah, so Growing up, I like just reading young adult books. I read like a lot of paranormal. Like I was into Twilight as a kid and things like that. Um, but as I grew older, I started really becoming interested in memoirs for some reason, like celebrity memoirs. I kind of just like getting inside people's brains. But once I got back into reading about 6 years ago, like heavily reading a lot more books, I became drawn to mystery and suspense. And I actually met one of my favorite thriller authors earlier this year at a book tour. And I'll never forget, she told me, well, I told her about my book a little bit just to make conversation, and she told me to just keep writing. And her books, her name is Lisa Gardner. She is a longtime mystery writer. And I've always just been a huge fan of her.
Okay.
Um, Jasmine, how long is the piece that you want to read?
Yeah, it's under 5 minutes.
Okay, well maybe that's a good time to do this.
Okay. All right. Um, okay. I'll begin. He can be the one to talk me off of the ledge. I can use him to make me feel something other than the rage that burns deep inside like a furnace inside me. Listen, I want a fresh start here in Belmont. I'm not the person that I was when I left, and I don't want to slip back into bad habits. I say, composing myself. Getting mixed up with another bad guy is not for me. Giovanni's expression softens, and he leans back in his chair. I'm here to get to know you. I want a clean slate just like you. I'm a business owner, I'm a restaurateur, I'm an art buyer, and I have a few real estate investments. Most of that is clean. Richard was the same way before his prison sentencing. He donated thousands of dollars to local schools and founded a few programs for underprivileged youth, but none of that changed the fact that he sold to their parents and children as they grew older. None of that changed the crime that ultimately sent him to prison. I learned from him that the best mask you can wear is the one that makes you look like a good person, even if you're rotten on the inside. And that's it.
All right. Woo! I remember that.
Thank
Oh,
you for that.
thank you.
And so for people who have not yet read Deadly Bonds, can you just give a little context as to what you just read?
Oh yeah, so I believe that was their first date, and she is very much on the fence about their partnership because she does not want to fall in love with this man, and she is thinking about her father and kind of how the mob world and the world that she grew up in as a kingpin's daughter, like how both of those worlds intertwine.
Okay. Okay. Thank you for that.
Yeah.
Well, I want to ask you, and we can come back in. Hopefully, Angela will fix her technical difficulties. I want to ask you, what does writing while black mean to you?
Writing while black means to me is creating the stories that are most authentic to you. It doesn't have to make sense to anybody else, but as long as it's real to you, that's what matters. Because for so long it feels as if, we as a community have been silenced with our writing, throughout decades, or people not wanting to pick up certain Black stories. But I truly believe no matter what you write, if it's authentic to you, then it deserves to be read.
Agreed, agreed. Thank you. So, Angela, I guess we can just chat. Maybe when we come back in, we can come back in and Angela's camera will be uh
Yeah.
fixed.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Where did you
fine.
grow up, Jasmine?
I grew up on the East Coast, on an East Coast city. Um,
Okay.
it's very similar
I
to
love
Belmont.
it. I love it. I love the mystery.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
It adds to the book.
Yeah. My work tends to, I grew up in Detroit and my work tends to be set in Detroit. Ioka, Love and Second Sight is set in DC, right?
It begins in DC,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah. Well, yeah, yeah, yeah.
The
I love
FMC
DC.
is from DC, just like me. And
Right.
yes, but then it ventures to other places because she needs to get out of DC. She wants a new start, so she moves.
Yeah. But it's something about writing about home or, it's useful or it's useful, it's helpful, but also it's like it's your home. So
Right,
I can
right.
see that. Do you have brothers and sisters? Are you an only child?
Yeah, I have brothers and I have a sister.
Oh, okay.
I'm the
Okay.
youngest.
You're the baby of the bunch.
Oh yeah.
Do
Angela
you
was
find
trying to recruit you to our only child nation.
I forgot all about it. Dang. Do you find that is your family of birth? Because I heard you make a distinction between chosen family and natal family or whatever. But is your family of birth very supportive of your work?
In terms of my family, my birth family, my sister is probably my number one supporter.
Oh,
And I remember
yay.
being, and she's my older sister. I think she's like 20 something years older than me. And at first, at first I was like, I don't know if she's gonna like this. And she kept telling me like, I'll read it. So, she fell in love with it. And on a weekly basis, she texts me and calls me and we just talk about the book nonstop. And it's really amazing. And even with my chosen family, with my author friends and other people, like it's the support is so real. And I feel so loved every day, to be honest.
That's awesome.
I've been seeing people do this. What does this mean? Is that like a clap, like yay, or is that like insulting? Has anybody seen anybody do this? I've been seeing it on social
I've
media.
seen it.
What it's like, yay, right?
Yeah, it's like a like kind of like the whole you ate thing, or it's like a sign of
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
okay.
yeah.
Okay.
Well, I'm
I
not
was
gonna
like,
say you ate, but yay, I'm glad to hear that.
Oh, and I can't mention family without mentioning my husband. He has been a rock. He's the one who tells me to go to sleep at night because I will just stay on this laptop typing away.
How do you balance? You have a full-time job and you're writing. So how do you balance? Or is it like if I'm not at work, I'm writing, I'm researching, I'm on it.
Yeah, it's kind of that. I try to keep work at work and I try to write on my breaks. But yeah, I try to write as much as I can each day. That sometimes that can be 200 words, sometimes that can be 2000. It depends, but I'm mostly a night writer. I enjoy writing at night for some reason.
Do you
it's
have
great when
routines?
you have,
Oh,
oh no, I would just want to go back when you have a supportive partner, that's a big deal.
Yes.
yeah,
Because
yeah.
yeah, my partner, he's not a writer, but he knows it's important to me. So get
Yes.
him.
Love that.
Do you have like a writing routine? Like, are there certain snacks you like to eat or certain music you like to listen to? Or do you
Hmm.
have a soundtrack for your work? Does each book have a soundtrack? Are there clothes you like to wear or a certain place you like to sit? I can only write if I'm here, but you said you write on your breaks and everything. So, t
Oh yeah. Yeah, like tonight I plan on having a 4 hour session or something just writing. But for me the perfect environment is a dark, very cold room. Uh I have to be drinking tea and water and I have to be covered in blankets and just sit on my laptop and I listen to either white noise or classical music.
That is very specific.
I'm a very routine person.
So wait, you said that you like writing in cafes. That was in your bio. So how does that work out?
Yeah, I people watch in cafes and I'll take notes on people sometimes on like body movement and things. So sometimes when I'm editing, I'll just go to a cafe and just watch and take notes. And I still do write at cafes, but I like to use it for like the human aspect of it, if that makes sense.
Okay, yes, it does.
I
It's
took a little
detailed.
memoir writing workshop, and one of the exercises was to like, just look at a person and like write everything that you can about them,
Mm.
how they sound, how they speak, how they carry themselves, what they look like. Just like describe just regular people as if they're characters, because characters are regular people. And also eavesdropping on people's conversations. But I sometimes think about that, like, how would I describe this person? And how does that description look different from this person? So, people watching is fun
Yeah,
and
very
helpful.
useful. I'll just say that's a little Easter egg for a different book that I'm writing is people watching.
Easter eggs. Okay. You're going another level because I remember doing an interview and someone asked if I had any Easter eggs. I was like, I
Oh my God,
think
I'm married
so.
to the king of Easter eggs. His website is an Easter egg. In all of his books and stories, there's stuff that, like, if you know this links to this, and it's like, it's a lot to me.
I love that. Good on him.
Yeah, I think if people are into it, they're really into it. And I guess, I'm starting to get maybe but not like some people. So we got a little Easter egg. Oh, the people watching in the cafes is an Easter egg.
The people watching part is
Ah,
definitely the Easter egg. Yeah.
okay, okay, okay. So, have you been doing a lot of press? Have you been on a press tour for your book?
This is my first podcast, so I feel so
Ah,
honored. But this Sunday I'll be in an author takeover in a Facebook group. It is the IR Book Lounge on Facebook, and it's going to be me and about six other authors, and we're all going to talk about our books, and it's going to be great.
so are some of these other authors your author family, your author friends?
Uh, I'm pretty close with one of them. I'm still getting to know everybody, but yeah, it's just the IR book community is a lot of fun to talk to sometimes. But I love the support, and honestly, the more people know about Deadly Bonds, the more it makes it all feel worth it. Because
Okay.
I waited
Can
so
you
long to put this book out.
can you send me the details about that? Because I'm gonna do a post about us chatting this morning and I can put it in the caption.
Oh, sure, yes.
But were there things in preparing to meet with us today? Was there anything that you were like, oh, I wonder if they're going to ask me about this, or let me prepare an answer to that, or something that you really wanted to share about your work or your about you or your work?
Uh, I didn't really give too much thought into that part. I really tried to just remind myself every detail about Deadly Bonds in case you asked about it. Because I don't know, after I was finished writing it, I had to just take a break from reading it for a while. But no, I there's nothing that I would hate to be asked about, and I love any questions about it because I'm more than happy to answer anything. Um, yeah, that's all I had to say.
So, is there anything that you wanted to say about Deadly Bonds that we didn't like really dig into or discuss?
Um, I can't quite think of anything at this moment. But I would just say the aspect of family and revenge is definitely a good point to for readers to think about or for the audience to think about because that can take so many layers, as you know, as you've read the book. But if you want to ask any questions about that, I'm always ready.
Prepared. So when people leave your work, Deadly Bonds, or the projects that you're working on, what do you want people to leave with? What's the takeaway?
It's never too late for a fresh start. and it's never too late to pursue your dreams because that's a big part of Natasha's character. It's a fresh start and focusing on your passions as well, but also knowing that love is definitely worth fighting for.
So thank you so much for being our guest today, Jasmine Hart. And thank you for our listeners and our watchers if you're watching on YouTube. Today is the best day ever for writing. So go on out there and get some stuff done. Right on. Right on. Peace.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Reading, learning, growing, creating, world building, living, thinking, healing, loving, building, writing, world, black, black, black.